Okay, let's dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to do something actually pretty incredibly exciting. We're taking an ancient piece of literature, but we aren't just going to read it like some dusty historical textbook. No way. We're going to experience it exactly how it was meant to be experienced as a dynamic, poetic event programmed for a massive royal wedding. We are unpacking Psalm 45, specifically using the English Standard Version to see how these ancient writers crafted the ultimate celebrations of power, romance, and literally building a dynasty.
And right off the bat, the author just grabs us by the collar. The very first verse kicks off with, "My heart overflows with a pleasing theme. I addressed my verses to the king." I mean, you could just feel the absolute enthusiasm here, right? This isn't just some passive observation. It's a loud declaration of joy from a master wordsmith whose tongue is as quick and sharp as a writer's pen. They are bursting with excitement to share this story, which instantly sets this incredibly immersive, captivating tone for the entire breakdown we're about to do.
Now, our whole analysis is anchored on this specific translation. Notice the unique formatting on the page. The stanzas, the little footnotes at the bottom. Ancient poetry has this very specific rhythm and structure when it's actually written down. We're going to tear this down line by line, but it's absolutely crucial to remember that we're dealing with a carefully constructed ancient document that has somehow survived centuries just to reach us today.
Actually, before the poem even really begins, we get what's called a superscription. It reads, "To the choirmaster, according to Lilies, a meskil of the sons of Korah, a love song." Now, if we dig into those footnotes, meskil is probably a musical or liturgical term, and that part about according to Lilies, well, that was highly likely a top 40 hit tune of the day. So right away, this tells us a lot. This wasn't just spoken word. This was a sung, deeply musical love song. It was the centerpiece entertainment of a massive, blowout royal event.
Okay, so let's move into Act 1, Splendor of the King, a Portrait of Might. The spotlight hits the stage, and all attention is squarely on the groom.
The text breaks the king down into this fascinating duality across verses 2 through 5. On the one hand, he's the picture of absolute perfection. He's the most handsome of the sons of men, with grace poured upon your lips. He's universally blessed. But then, boom! The tone shifts immediately to raw military might. The scribe commands him to gird your sword on your thigh, O mighty one. He rides victoriously for truth, meekness, and righteousness. And it gets pretty graphic. His arrows are sharp in the heart of his enemies, with peoples literally falling under him. Talk about whiplash, right? The text brilliantly paints the king as both this beautiful, blessed figure and a terrifying, majestic warrior.
So we hit a crucial point in verse 6. The scribe writes, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever." This is a massive elevation. All of a sudden, the poem links the king's earthly authority directly with a divine right. The scepter of his kingdom is a scepter of uprightness. He loves righteousness and hates wickedness. By intertwining the human monarch with divine backing, the text totally cements the ultimate, unquestionable authority of the groom on his big day.
But a royal wedding isn't just about battlefield victories and divine rights. Let's look at setting the scene, ivory palaces and fragrance.
Look at the incredibly specific ingredients the ancient scribe recorded to make the groom's entrance unforgettable in verses 8 and 9. God has anointed the king with the oil of gladness. His robes aren't just fine fabric, they're heavily fragranced with expensive myrrh, aloes, and cassia. Just imagine that scent filling the room. Honestly, it was probably a bit overpowering. And the setting, they're in these grand ivory palaces with stringed instruments playing to make him glad. Even his bridal party, his ladies of honor, are the daughters of other kings. The production value of this ancient ceremony is just absolutely off the charts.
Next up on our event program, we shift focus. Advice to the bride, a new allegiance. The camera pans away from the king, and the scribe steps right in to offer her some very direct advice.
Verse 10 says, "Hear, O daughter, and consider, and incline your ear. Forget your people and your father's house, and the king will desire your beauty." Wow. No pressure on your wedding day, right? Just forget literally everyone you've ever known. But, there's immense psychological and political weight in these words. This is the harsh reality of ancient royal marriages. The bride is being instructed to completely sever her past allegiances, her old nation, her old family. They've got to be forgotten. She has to bow to her new lord, forming a completely new allegiance so the king will desire her. It's a really stark reminder of the massive life shift this ceremony represents for her.
And this political reality brings intense international attention, too. Verse 12 mentions the daughter of Tyre. The footnotes reveal this represents the richest of people seeking her favor with gifts. Tyre was an incredibly wealthy neighboring maritime power. So, their presence with lavish gifts, that's classic ancient geopolitical networking.
It highlights how other nations recognize the massive power shift this new royal union created, and they definitely wanted to get on the bride's good side right from day one.
When we put these two domains side by side, the thematic balance is just stunning. Think of it like a giant puzzle fitting together perfectly. On the left side, the king's domain is defined by his sword, his military majesty, and his aggressive pursuit of truth and righteousness. On the right side, the queen stands at his right hand. Her domain is radiant wealth. She's adorned in the gold of Ophir, the highest quality gold of the ancient world. She is glorious in robes interwoven with gold, representing pure joy and gladness. It's this perfect poetic pairing of militant, righteous power meeting radiant, joyous wealth.
So, with the couple introduced and the setting established, the grand climax of the ancient ceremony finally arrives. The royal procession begins.
The scribe actually walks us step by step through this highly visual, beautifully choreographed procession. Step 1. The glorious princess is waiting in her chamber, getting prepared in her golden robes. Step 2. The doors open, and she's led out in many colored robes, with her virgin companions following right behind her, acting as her entourage. And then, Step 3. The grand finale. With overwhelming joy and gladness, they are led along the path until they physically enter the palace of the king. I mean, you can almost hear the music from those ivory palaces swelling as she crosses the threshold.
But the poet doesn't end the song there. We finally reach the ultimate purpose of this ancient union, an eternal legacy, princes in all the earth.
The poem finishes with this incredible promise in verses 16 and 17. The author writes, "In place of your fathers shall be your sons. You will make them princes in all the earth. I will cause your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore nations will praise you forever and ever." The scribe is basically guaranteeing an eternal legacy. The past, the fathers, are replaced by the future, the sons, who will rule globally as princes. This wasn't just a romance, you see, it was the ultimate blessing of enduring global power.
Which brings us to a fascinating close for today's explainer. The poet boldly claimed, "I will cause your name to be remembered in all generations." Think about that for a second. That was written thousands of years ago for a very specific ancient wedding. Yet here we are today, breaking down this exact text, reading these exact words. So how do ancient texts achieve this kind of legacy? Well, by transforming a fleeting historical event into a masterful piece of literature, this scribe actually delivered on their seemingly impossible promise. The royal name, preserved in ink and sung to the tune of lilies, truly did echo through history. It leaves you wondering, what other incredible narratives are hiding in the poetic structures of antiquity just waiting to be unpacked?